Hello, hello. Welcome on in. Hi, Teo. How are you? Hopefully you're doing great. Hi, Cal. Oh, God. Mood. Teo. Yes. Mood. True. True. Big ass mood. Guys, I gotta go to the store and get a new keyboard. Maybe I'll go do that today. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so far my power bank hasn't died. And I'm trying to not buy another one if I don't have to, but everything seems to be functioning as normal. If this does this again, I don't know. I'm trying to not buy another UPS system, but I don't. I don't know. So here's my problem. I have. I have. So Jace, do you think I actually need to buy what? What?
Oh, for your coffee or your croissant.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, which card?
my what? Oh shit! As I like slap the fucking keyboard, it's fine. Um, do you think I actually need to buy a new power bank?
I think if it does it again,
Yes.
you should.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds
Okay.
like a good plan. That sounds like a good plan. I like that plan. Okay, that's for you.
Thanks.
Literally, just get me anything. I think for drinks, I'm feeling something that's like kind of sweet.
Okay.
So, to be honest, their matcha drinks are good, but I think I've had both of their matchas for this season now.
Okay.
But if you do get one of their coffee lattes, adding like an extra pump of syrup would be like
Okay.
choice.
Okay. And then can I get myself
Oh
a
yeah,
drink?
yeah, of course.
I don't need any food though because I'm plenty full.
Cool,
So.
sounds good. Yes, please do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not what I wanted.
Okie dokie. All right. Oh, and then what were the things that I needed to remind you of later?
I need to call my
Call your
mom.
mom. Okay, and that's it.
And Costco. Order
Costco,
Costco
okay.
stuff, because otherwise we don't have any paper towels.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what the hell's going on. So today we're doing sprints. I'm doing it like an earlier stream, obviously, because I can't stay all the way until the end of stream because I have a dentist appointment. So I am going to be working on chapters 9 and 10 of the Betrayer's Blade, so technically y'all get a sneaky peeky at something that only Ko-fi people know. So that's special. Oh, and we got a tiebreaker. Alright, so it looks like because we have a tiebreaker, I'm gonna go over to Twitch right now, and before I even start writing, I'm gonna let you guys vote on the what we are actually what the solution is. So for those of you who don't know, for the Betrayer's Blade, folks on Ko-fi get to vote on what actually happens in the story. But I need a tiebreaker here. So okay, so I'm not gonna do anything super crazy. I'm just gonna go ahead and set this for 2 minutes. So if you want to vote, please do. I need a tiebreaker here. Oh, is it serious? Can we get a cavity pull? Nah, this is just my regular cleaning. I go like literally every 3 months to get cleanings. I have to. I have what I like to call English swamp mouth. And by that I mean my genetic makeup for my mouth is just fucking awful. So no matter how much I brush or how much I floss or whatever, I have to use like very specific toothpaste because otherwise my mouth bacteria just get out of fucking control. Even if like I'm like flossing and brushing twice a day, I have to use like special mouthwash. Like it's fucking insane. Um, and it is really unfortunate. So I have to go to the dentist every 3 months instead of every six. Otherwise, I do have cavities. I mean, oftentimes when I go in, if I do end up having pretty severe cavities, and this is like if I, for example, go to like the worst fucking budget dentist of all time for several years, like I did during COVID because we had to, that ends up resulting in me having like 5 to 6 cavities at once, which is fucking awful, by the way. And they actually have done studies on oral genetics. That's really the only reason that I know that this is a thing. Because unfortunately, I genetically inherited it from my dad. But typically, people of English or Scottish descent tend to have worse oral care just because of genetic imbalances. Okay, the poll's almost done. So y'all gotta vote. Don't forget to vote. But yeah, it's mostly annoying as fuck. But I've had this issue since I was a kid. Like, literally every single dentist is like, do you brush your teeth? And it's like, yes, I brush my fucking teeth. Yeah, because it's not really an issue with my, enamel. It's not enamel, if that makes sense. The problem is the bacteria in my mouth attacks my gums, and then it latches onto my gums, and then that attacks my teeth. So it's not really the enamel at all that's like wearing down. It's the sheer amount of bacteria, because like you have good and bad bacteria in your body, right? Like that's just how your gastrointestinal system works. But if you have a bad imbalance of that bacteria, then that can cause a bunch of issues, and that's where people, for example, get like it's that you can develop intolerances to certain foods, for example, or like you can have certain like gastrointestinal issues like IBS. If for like that's like lower gastrointestinal, but people often forget that your mouth is a part of that upper gastrointestinal system. And so that's where my problem is that I have to effectively attack this bacteria with like intense like antibacterial toothpaste and mouthwash and things like that. And my dentist only will do fluoride every 6 months, just like normal. Like I only pay for fluoride every 6 months. So going to the dentist 3 times to get a cleaning does not increase my amount of fluoride that I'm doing, if that makes sense. It's the only way that I have been able to avoid having to have my mouth drilled open every like 6 to 8 months is by going to the dentist every 3 months. It's fucking horrendous. But I would much rather like because like all the cleanings are doing whenever I go in for appointments like today is that she's scraping the extra plaque off of my teeth and making sure my gum health is good. So I don't even see the actual doc. I just see the dental hygienist on days like today. And honestly, she is the fucking best. Okay, so it looks like we're testing the mercenaries' loyalty. Thank you for voting for that tiebreaker, because I did not know what I was going to be doing here. But yeah, it has something to do with the pH in my mouth as well. I had a dentist explain it to me at some point because he did a bunch of testing on both me and my dad because, like, it was when I was, like, I don't know, like 8, I think? Maybe 10. And it was just so unnecessarily dumb. My mouth is stupid, so I'm so glad that I'm on health insurance now that allows me to, or dental insurance rather, that allows me to go every 3 months, so that way they can just double check and make sure I don't have anything going on. Because if I had it my way, I would never, ever, ever, ever get fillings ever again. Doesn't help that, like, literally I have a needle phobia, so, like, if I can avoid that. Okay, so let me see here. I need to think about now what I'm doing. I'm going to open up my outline because we're technically here, and I need to combine that with this. No, I don't. So it's not severe enough that I need to take an oral antibiotic, right? Because I don't have an infection. That's the difference, right? Because you would need an oral antibiotic or some kind of antibiotic if you had an actual infection, if it was necrosis, if that makes sense, right? So that would be like if you had an open wound in your mouth and it got infected with like literally anything. Like I don't know what the most common like strep. Like say for whatever reason, that's a great example. Strep is the most common necrotizing fasciitis. In other words, a bacteria that kills your mouth or kills your flesh. So, E. coli is another good example of that one, but that one's probably not going to happen in your mouth. So say you get a super severe case of strep and you have an open wound in your mouth, that would be, or even you don't need an open wound necessarily with strep. That would be the reason you would need an oral bacteria. But for me, what this bacteria does, the bacteria that I have issues with in particular, which technically everybody has issues with, is specifically a couple of different bacterias, but most importantly, Porphyromonas gingivalis. In other words, the gingivitis bacteria, right? It is a gram-negative bacterium that produces enzymes that damage gum tissue and then thereby cause inflammation. That then leads way for, again, Streptococcus mutans, which is the tooth enamel, and that contribute to plaque plaque formation, pardon me. So it's a combination of like 5 different oral bacteria, typically. So that can also include nucleatum, which is formation of plaque. That can include actino. Wow, I'm gonna butcher that. There's another one that's another. It's like, oh, that one's juvenile gingivitis, but that's pretty severe. So I don't think I have that one. P. intermedia, that's another one. So it's a combination of all of those things that effectively, because my mouth is the perfect petri dish for these kinds of things, because I have a very base, like a non-acidic environment in my mouth, the bacteria does really, really well, if that makes sense. So everybody's just got a different oral pH that is unique to your mouth, just almost as unique as your fingerprint, actually. And that can determine how your bacteria does in your mouth. That's why some kids get cavity after cavity after cavity after cavity after cavity, but then other people just don't ever have to go to the dentist. Like, it seems like I've never gotten a cavity in my life. I go to the dentist once every 4 years. You know, it's like, it's other people just don't have to deal with it at all, if that makes sense. So I have had doctors suggest oral antibiotics, but that would not work in my instance, because also too, another important thing to note, and like, sorry, this is like fucking welcome to Science Talk with Tycho. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But actually, antibiotics can actually work in the negative, because oral antibiotics not only kill bad bacteria, it kills all bacteria. And so you can effectively essentially wipe out the entire good bacterial culture, which you do need in your body, out of your mouth. And that can not only, of course, disrupt the bacteria that's in your mouth, but again, because it's connected to your entire gastrointestinal system, it wipes out everything in your gut as well. And that can end up also making you sick if you're taking oral antibiotics and you don't need them. So there's a bunch of that is definitely like not a good approach. The best way that you can increase, quote, good bacteria in your body is by eating probiotic foods. That's what the word probiotic means, is containing good bacteria. So eating things like pickles or like kombucha, or anything effectively that's fermented. To some extent, drinking beer, although that can be kind of heavy calorie-wise, any fermented foods are going to be high in probiotics, and then also eating things with lots of vitamins and minerals and vegetables, which my diet is really, really good. Effectively, I just drew the worst genetic lottery of all time, and no amount of good diet and wishing would prevent me from having this issue. Like, I mean, there's a whole reason. Like, there's a whole stereotype, and this is obviously a satire, but there is literally an entire stereotype that Brits have bad teeth. And it's not just like it's not just like from stereotype, truly. Like, obviously standards of teeth used to be much worse in the past. In 1978, a third of people in the UK had no teeth. All their teeth fell out. Now, the figure nowadays is about 6%, which shows how great dental standards have improved, but people do suspect that, like, there is maybe a genetic component in that. So yeah, it's a very complicated issue, and it's definitely not whether or not I have been to the dentist, but like, yeah, it's a very interesting thing. Yeah, now obviously, as this says here, it's not solely determined by genetics. I just effectively start in the hole. So that is kind of a bummer. It is what it is. Yeah, some issues are genetic, some aren't. So, thankfully, I that means can work against that to go to the dentist more often and just have them fucking clean my teeth every 3 months, and it fixes the problem pretty much immediately. And then I can use effectively the most intense anti gingivitis mouthwash of all time, and it kills everything that needs to not be in there. You know. Also, hi Jamie, how are you? I have to go to the dentist today, so we're talking about mouth shit. Yeah, see, and this is where I get screwed. So just for an example, I was trying to find the exact stuff. So this is effectively examples of heritable oral bacteria. So in other words, this is like the mouth bacteria that you inherit from your parents. And unfortunately, strep mutans, which is what causes tooth decay, has a statistically significant additive genetic contribution for both abundance and detection. In other words, you just inherit that from your parent. And it's fucking sucks. So yeah, so genetically, this probably, if I had to ask that dentist again, if I could go back in time, back to my childhood, I would guarantee that this is probably what he was talking about. But um yeah, effectively, just like this says here, there's a targeted intervention that can happen. In my case, it's just going to the dentist more often. So that way, first you have to find a dentist that actually believes this shit, because the research is newer. And so I've definitely gone to loads of dentists who are like, you just don't floss and you're lying to me. And I'm like, bro, I go through fucking like 40 million floss picks. I use mouthwash. Like, I don't know what else to fucking tell you, you know, like, it's just. So that can be kind of the fucking worst. Is literally having your dentist gaslight you and tell you that you're not fucking cleaning your teeth, which is definitely not true. Oh, huh, that is interesting, Teo. I saw a vaccine for bad oral bacteria. Yeah, that's a good question. I would have to like do more research on it. That's very fucking cool. I wonder if it worked. Yeah, because if effectively you could, like you're suggesting, just immediately fix the problem and just target just those specific bacteria without harming the good bacteria, you could also, to some extent, fix that hereditary issue where you're passing those bad oral genes onto your kid because you'd get vaccinated for it effectively, like you're saying, right? And that would be very fucking cool. That would be really neat. That would certainly make my problem way easier to deal with. Oh, they always want to grind down your molars, and I just very don't want that. Well, if you ever need a good dentist in the Aurora area, Jamie, let me know, because we go and see this Romanian man named Dr. Oltean, and holy shit, he's the best fucking dentist I've ever been to in my whole life. He's literally living 400 years in the future, and he is amazing. And his staff, his hygienist staff, is amazing as well. It's like 3 people that work at the dentist, and they're amazing. Okay, let me actually start formulating what in the hell is going on with this. It's impossible to ignore you. Yeah, it's really fascinating shit. I definitely am always down to talk about science and stuff in here. Okay, let me see here. Ayo, guess who doesn't have any water over here? It's me. Let me get up and get some water after we start this sprint. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yeah, sorry I have to so thoroughly explain everything that's going on. I don't mean to like info dump on people. I find like medicine and health and science to be all really, really interesting shit, to be honest. But yeah, dentists have always been weird with my teeth. Apparently, having a mouthful of sharp morals is odd. Well, maybe you're just genetically superior, Jamie. Clearly. Clearly. Oh, we're almost out of Act 1. I'm excited. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead. Whoa. Science! Yeah, true. Science, Meredith. Science! Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this sprint. I'm going to actually go and get water. If you haven't hydrated, Cal has demanded that we hydrate. Let me go ahead and start this sprint, and I will see you all in 12 minutes. All right, all done with the first sprint. 12 minutes is a short one. How did everybody do? I wrote 500 words-ish, give or take. 467. Jace was the best and got me a mushroom and cheese croissant. Thank you, Jace. This is exactly what I wanted. Oh yeah, what did CJ have to say? Mushroom cheese. Oh, yeah, $200 is like nothing. The croissant. You're right, Tail. You're right. It's so fucking good. He also got me a carrot cake coffee. Okay, that sounds like a plan. My 12-minute sprint just crashed. Oh no! Stretch! Already do big old stretch. Ugh. Oh, that's nice. Didn't CJ say something about beer on tap for us? That's provided?
It's not provided, but we're allowed to use the taps. Like, when you reserve the space.
Gotcha.
They also have a CO2 tank in there, too, to, like, for the carbonation and stuff, that we can potentially refill, which makes it cheaper for us. And, we'll get to talk with Nathan, about more information once we get the deposit down, so we have, like, all of the information on that. But apparently CJ's been, like, trying to get people to, like, actually use the taps, and nobody's done it before. So we would be, like, the first people to use it.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a cool thing.
But the, looking at Argonauts, like, we could legit get, like, a 5.5-gallon keg, which is a shitload of beer already for the 50 people. Anywhere from, it looks like, roughly $60-$70 all the way up to, like, depending on what you get, like, Left Hand's Peanut Butter Milk Stout is like $150. So, like, it really varies depending on which beer we get, but...
Yeah, totally. Well, if I had to pick one, I'd want to pick, like, a blonde ale.
Yeah, or, like,
personally.
A pale ale or a pilsner goes really good with pizza, so, like...
Oh, yeah, that's a blonde ale is a pale ale.
Okay, yeah.
They're same. So, same terminology, or similar terminology, same beer.
So... we can pick out a decent beer from the Argonauts list.
Okay.
If we want to, because it's not, like, that bad.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Beer and pizza's tasty.
Also, the space technically only holds 35 people, and we've got, like, 50 guests, but, like, we're going to be using the pool space, and we're allowed to use the rest of the community space. It's just the billiards room would be reserved for us, though.
Mm-hmm.
But we also can remember that there's, like, the little oven in the kitchen space down there, so when I grab, like, the frozen pizzas like I was talking about for like the vegan and the gluten free.
Yeah, we can just heat them up.
Them in there.
The beer and the zaw. Yeah, totally. It's for our like we're having like a congratulations we're getting married party. It's like the reception before the reception.
It's the engagement party / welcome to Denver because we have so many guests coming in from out of town.
We have a lot of people coming. It's about to be fucking crazy. I am kind of overwhelmed. Oh, good. I'm glad that you salvaged that autosave. Yeah, that's scary. Computers are dumb. Yeah, 12 minutes does go by really fast. The 12-minute sprints are like nothing. Speaking of that, let's roll for a new sprint. Okay, this one's a little bit longer. Not by much, but a little bit. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's do another 17-minute sprint. And let's see how much work we can get done. See you in just a bit. All right, all done. How did everybody do? Also, bye, Jamie. I know Jamie's not here anymore, but womp womp. I officially worked on something for a client. I did a little bit of ghostwriting just then, so that's why I didn't show it on stream, because it's for their private project. It was just like a little paragraph. So now that that's done, all of my commission slots are open again. I'm only accepting writing commissions right now, so if you have any editing that you need done, if you have any ghostwriting that you need done, any publishing help, that would be you know, a good thing to commission me to do if you have the means to do so. Yeah, I got 3 slots for that open. We're trying to move to New Zealand, so anything helps if you are interested in doing that. But I do want to thank everybody who is continuously commissioning me. That is so helpful. I'm cranking out budget info for next month. Very nice. Hi, Badrick. Oh, yeah, it's been a minute. I'm glad to see you. I hope you've been doing well, too. I've been doing okay today. We are working on the Betrayer's Blade, which is the fantasy novel that I release to my Ko-fi audience. So it gets released every month. It's like 2 chapters get released for free on Wattpad once those are available. So like, for example, this month chapters 7 and 8 are getting released to Wattpad for free. And then I'm working on chapters 9 and 10 for release to my Ko-fi audience, and then the Ko-fi people get to vote on what happens next in the story. And so it's been really crazy writing this, because I have like some idea of what's going on, but like this entire chapter was entirely dependent on what people voted on, and so it's like a total surprise for me, and it's been really fucking fun. Hi Gamby, how are you? Welcome in. We're doing writing sprints today. The Jekyll and Hyde performance was a performance for sure. Oh no. Was it bad? I need you to paint a picture for me, Patrick. Feels bad. I'm doing really good, Gamby. I'm waiting very impatiently to hear back from these Wattpad people. They are taking my werewolf romance to their acquisitions team in 2 days. And I really, really, really need them to sign me on. I would like literally scream, because then that would mean that I am traditionally published. Sort of. Hydrate. I've been drinking this carrot cake coffee. It's very good. Yeah, so I really need it's a whole thing. So that's been on my mind. I've been mostly just stressed out about trying to get my portfolio done for school. It wasn't awful, but at one point the guy playing Jekyll / Hyde said, "Oh my god, said Skibbity Sigma what the fuck?" God damn. I have so many. You know what? I was gonna say I had so many questions, but I actually don't want to know. Like, wow. Wow. Who, what, wow. Yeah, I really do think that they're gonna give me the, they're gonna give me this for Wattpad. Fingers crossed. I don't normally like writing romance, and I don't normally write it at all, but I think what I've written, in terms of will it sell to people who like that kind of stuff, I think the answer is yes. So I don't know. The waiting is gonna kill me. I'll keep y'all updated as soon as I get information about it, though. Trying to finish this quest off. At the end of this month, too, we're voting on what's going to be the next writing workshop as well. So, the last one was showing versus telling. And, I'll put up a poll in the, Discord once it goes live, but it'll be on Ko-fi. And, it'll be, accessible to the public, so even though it's going to be on my Ko-fi, it'll be free for everybody to vote. So if there's a particular writing workshop that you guys want me to talk about, definitely let me know, and I can put those into the poll suggestions. But the showing versus telling one is on my YouTube for free. Honestly, Teo, I could literally only hope that that's the response, right? Because effectively, because while Wattpad does publish speculative fiction, they are predominantly an upmarket romance publisher. That's like literally all that they do. And I had tried pitching some more speculative romantasy to them at one point, and they didn't. It got to acquisitions as well, but they ended up not taking it because it was too speculative and not spicy enough effectively. And they say that it doesn't have to be that spicy, but I know that for it to sell, sex sells. That's just the way that goes. So I have to try and figure out how to effectively work past my demisexual brain and write the sauce. That's what I have to do. But this one is LGBT werewolf romance, which doesn't happen often, if at all. I don't think I've heard a singular LGBT like romance that is like a male-on-male werewolf thing. And to be fair, it's like really loosely werewolf. Like the guy is not actually a werewolf. He's like he's effectively a cult science experiment. So that's like a whole thing. But yeah, you have to, for Wattpad, you have to go really hard, really fast. Like we're talking like within the first like 5 to 6 chapters, sexy shit is happening. Which feels like it's moving, the story is moving really, really, really fast. So that's what's been difficult for me. Because I'm like a really huge fan of slow burn romances. Like I recognize that I just got through T.J. Klune's In the Lives of Puppets yesterday, or 2 days ago. And like, because you have an asexual main character, legit, the most that they did in the entire novel was kiss, because he's not romantically repulsed, he's just sexually averse. And so, but it was like, they didn't kiss for the first time until legitimately 75% through the whole book. So that was like a whole thing. Versus, but like that's the difference between... That's just like the difference between writing a speculative fantasy, which is In the Lives of Puppets, or speculative science fiction, truly, In the Lives of Puppets, with romance elements, versus what I'm writing for Wattpad, which is shifter romance, because the whole point of people who read romance or watch romance films or things like that, like, you want to effectively have the hook be that they are having sex, if that makes sense. So and you can still have sweet romances that just applies to other verticals that they have, right? So like slice of life might be more appropriate for a slower burn romance, but for the most part they want you to really, if you're doing like any of their romance verticals, they want you to hit the audience in the face with a baseball bat effectively. Yeah, it's either slow burn or charcoal burner, no in between. It's either you've loaded 40 fireworks into the kiln and it is exploded, or it's like one sad little piece of wood that's continuing to burn. But I personally, like, for me as a demisexual person, like, I prefer those kinds of romances. So TJ Klune might be right up my alley as an asexual author. You know, like I might prefer his works predominantly over others. But when they reference like for Wattpad, when you talk about upmarket, what that means, like if I were to let me, what is the actual definition of upmarket? Fine, upmarket. So upmarket means affluent to the sector of the market or designed to appeal to affluent customers. In books, it means a subgenre that blend. Oh wait, no, a book club fiction, meaning it is commercial fiction. It has high quality writing and artistic merit of literary fiction with the plot driven commercial appeal of pop fiction. So it's going to have a strong plot, complex characters, nuanced prose, relatable themes, but ultimately, would a book club want to pick it up? Right? Is it going to be so popular that a bunch of people are just going to fucking buy it? You know what I mean? So that's really what Wattpad is gunning for. So in order for me to have success with that, like to some extent, you just got to kind of bend to their rules, which is why I'm not really writing any. I'm not submitting any fiction that's like this, like what I'm working on today, where this is very clearly this is like my passion project, and I can release this to people who pay me on Ko-fi, and I appreciate them very very much. Versus with Wattpad, you have to kind of bite the bullet and just write what they want you to write. You don't really get a choice. They give you guidelines, and you have to fit within those guidelines very intensely. So we'll see what they do. We will see. Also, we now have the shortest baby sprint. So I'm going to go ahead and throw myself into this 10-minute sprint. And let me see how much I can get done in 10 minutes, and I will see you all on the other side of this little baby 10 minutes. Alright, all done. How did we do? I have in this chapter about 1,300 words, you know? That's all I can really ask for.
Oops, wrote that in the wrong chat.
I'm almost done with almost through this chapter. Doing lots of math. Accidentally said that in Discord instead of here. You know what? It's okay. It's alright. It's okay. It's okay. Oh my god. I stretched. So much math. Math. I'm adding stuff to my Costco cart. So, bummer, Jay's Costco does not have the Gain Botanicals.
Oh, boo.
So, we'll have to get that from
Target.
but we can get the other stuff. Cool. So now I just got to finish writing this section, and then we're in a good spot. Yeah. Otherwise, I gotta do a bunch of errands today. Do we also want to go over to Jared today? Because what are we doing? We're doing post office, bank, dentist. What else, Jace?
Post office, bank, dentist.
Oh, and I guess maybe we were gonna wait to do Jared until closer to the wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's it, right?
I think so.
Okay, post office, bank, dentist.
Yep.
We're gonna only be Jared. That's all I gotta say. I have to get my ring adjusted because I have skinty little people fingers, and by that I mean I have skeleton hands. I am a small man with small hands. Okay, let me roll again. I'm just gonna keep going. It seems like everybody's being really productive. An itemized day is an organized day, especially when you're me and you have the ADHD. And if you don't keep track of that shit, then everything goes to shit really fast. This one's like a little bit of a longer stream. We're having a bunch of micro sprints today. Jared will be pleased. The sacrifice will be made. Yeah, I have to go and get it adjusted. I finished my homework and will now be continuing my Jekyll Lanyon story. Fan-fucking-tastic. Oh. Get the fuck out of here. I was so fast. That's a pro tip. Oh, I use lists like I am on coke. I almost unbanned them on ice. Don't do that! They're cursed. I was mostly trying to figure out if I'd have enough to cover the gift handkerchiefs for our wedding party, Sans, Flower Girls, and Ring Bearer, and the last of the wedding supplies. I see, I see. We're stuck in Adtown for a minute. But I'll just get started on this sprint. So let's when everybody gets back from Adtown, we'll be in the middle of a sprint. So let's get going on it. 15 minutes. We got it. We'll probably have time for 2 more sprints this stream. Here we go. Alright, all done with this sprinty. How we doing? I'm at about 2,000 words for this chapter, so I have to wrap it up in just a second here. That's all I gotta say. Benny's having a freak out. That's all I gotta say. Okay, have fun feeding your dog. I will be on for another, probably 10 minutes or so. And actually, I'm going to just start a micro sprint right now. That's a 10-minute one right away. So sorry for jumping from one sprint right into another one, but I'm going to actually do that so that I can finish up this chapter before I have to leave for the dentist. So I'll be back in 10-ish minutes, and if I see you, I see you. And if I don't, I hope you have fun feeding your dog. So I'll be in this. Here we go. Alrighty, that's the end of the last sprint of the day. I managed to write like 2,500 words, so that's pretty good. I have to remember to update my writing tracker. Because I realized I got like so intense about... I didn't mark down how many words I had written for the wee woo shit. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, 2,500 is pretty good. Now I need to do it again for this next chapter, which I'll probably write this afternoon. But Jason and I have to go to the dentist. I will hydrate with some Kofifi before we leave out of this place. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate everybody. Thanks again for Shinko for commissioning me to do some ghostwriting for them on their game. That was very fun. And I hope that you all have a good rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with some Heaven's Equal stuff as we finish up this very last couple of pages, I think, for this, yes. Yeah, for this chapter. I have to finish, like, the entire, chapter now, pretty much. So I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.